If you are a projector and you've been told to wait for the invitation, but no one's ever actually explained how to wait for an invitation, this video is for you. I'm so excited that you're here because most messaging advice doesn't work for projectors. And I've worked with a lot of you, not because you're inconsistent, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you are just built differently than what the online world really tells us is good marketing. And in this video, we're going to break it all down and explain how you can be more visible, attract your dream clients, and just honestly show up more as yourself in your messaging and online. So, hey, I am Rachel and I teach messaging through human design. And I've worked with so many projectors, coaches, consultants, creatives who are incredibly talented, perceptive, deep people, really good at what you do, but have a really hard time talking about it, right? Because all of the messaging advice out there talks about being consistent and showing up and pushing and pushing and pushing, right? A typical hustle culture. And that goes against everything in a projector's body. If I could tell nothing else to a projector other than this is like the one thing. I'm going to get to all kinds of stuff in this video, but one thing that I want you to know is that it is your insights, you showing up and knowing exactly what your genius is, knowing that you can change someone's life, and very little to do with giving all of the explanation and education and all the things. Because every projector I've met has wanted to share everything that they do in every part of it. That's overwhelming people. It's making them go, whoa. Okay, so let's actually get into it because I kind of went on a tangent there for good reason. But projectors, okay, so you're taught to explain your value, right? Everyone's saying talk about the value that you bring to the table, justify your role. This is why I'm really good. Show how helpful you can be by giving 10 steps and 20 tips and all of the things. But the moment that you're doing that, the moment that you step into that performance role of this is how I'm supposed to show up, you are proving your value and you've lost yourself. You've stepped away from your authentic energy and into a role that you aren't supposed to take. That's not your role. Your role is, we so need it. It's not that one. Okay. Why? Because insight gets diluted from a projector, right? When you think about your energy, it is focusing, very focused, right? That cone, it's very focused. This is why when you are talking with a friend and they're going off about whatever's going wrong in their life, and you're like, what if you did this? Da, 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 da. And they don't listen, they don't take your advice, and it kind of feels like a little dagger in your heart. That's why. Okay. Your insight is getting diluted when it's being forced upon other people. And you're like, but Rachel, how am I supposed to help people if I can't give them my insights? Isn't that what I'm supposed to be giving? Yes, but it's structured in a certain way. And we're going to talk about that. It's structured in a way that allows you to literally have people coming to you, flooding to you, going, oh my God, I need to know what you know. But it starts first with you taking off this performance role that you have to show up consistently, be consistent, talk about all the things and give all the information and blah, 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 blah. Your authority softens when you are to give 100 tips and step-by-step instructions on how to fix their problems. That's not your role. It's not what you do. It's not your genius. Your message starts sounding so generic when you are trying to follow these messaging rules. I think out of all 5 types, projectors are probably the ones that should not follow the advice, follow closely by manifestors, but projectors are the ones that should not be following messaging advice because it is so counterintuitive to how your energy naturally works. Recognition doesn't come from explaining your genius. It comes from letting people actually see you. So if you are showing up in a way that someone says is marketing, someone says this is the way to do it, you need to explain your value and the problem you solve and solution, you are automatically going to put on a mask and a performance and not show up as yourself. The second you let all of that go and literally just go, you know what? F it. I'm going to show up just how I am, just how I am. And I'm going to share what I see. I guarantee you things will shift dramatically for you. Dramatically. It does every single time with a client. Being seen as a projector, right? Let's talk about this. Being seen, it's not more followers, it's not content, it's not louder confidence, and it's not better hooks. Like, how many times have you go, I just need a better hook. I just need a better strategy to be seen. I need more people looking at my stuff. No, being seen actually means that they feel your words before they make any, like they feel you, they stop. They're like, this is amazing. I actually came across someone, now I'm going to blank on his name, but I came across someone on Instagram, wildly magnetic. He wasn't even, he was following nothing. No, he was doing his own thing. I fucking loved it. Guarantee you he's a projector. I actually asked him in the comments. I was like, are you a projector? And he's showing up as himself without, and like leaving the rules at the door. You are going to be seen when you feel like you're naming something in someone. They're going to see you because you're naming what they can't see or what they can't quite put words to. It's like on the tip of their tongue. They're like, you say it and they're like, oh my God, that's it. That's what I've been struggling with. It means that they're going to trust your perspective without you trying to convince them. So oftentimes I will tell projectors that you should share your story. Oftentimes the way that you see the world, the things that you've been able to achieve and heal and all of that has come from your past experience. And so when you're sharing that story, you're sharing where you were, what you were experiencing, what you were feeling in that moment. And then you fixed it by doing X, Y, Z. You are able to move through it, achieve it, heal it, all of those things because of the way that you saw the problem. And you see the same problem with them. You're creating curiosity and desire by sharing that story. They see that and they see themselves in you. Okay. So being seen feels like someone reading your words and going, oh my God, that's exactly what's happening. That's what we want. That's where we get people where they're like searching your Instagram bio looking for a link to work with you or how to, is there an offer that you have on the table right now? Like you don't need the like, comment this and I'll send you the stuff. No, they are literally seeking you out. That's the invitation. I think projectors get stuck in thinking that they have to make invitations or make it really obvious what the invitation is. Really, it's about you showing up as you, pointing out the things that people are missing with such confidence and conviction that there is no other thing that is going to work without saying, like, you're just showing up with that conviction. You know that the people that are right for you are going to get massive, massive results from the work that you do. You're just confidently like chill. Think of like the French or an Italian when you're walking around the streets and the shopkeeper's just like standing in the door, just watching everybody go by, just waiting for the next person. They confidently know someone's going to walk by and want to come in their store. That's what you're doing. You're just confidently standing at the door going, I know someone's going to want to come into my store. I know someone's going to want my insights. You don't have to shout it from the rooftops. You can if you want, if that feels aligned. But you don't have to just pump out content after content and try and give all the value and all the things. Like, you are literally diluting your insights by giving so much information out, right? Okay. The next point, how your energy translates to your messaging. Okay. This is really important. This is going to show you how to actually use this in your messaging, specifically phrases, that kind of stuff. Okay. So projectors are meant to like diagnose. You're not here to demonstrate. You're not doing come look at this product and I'm going to show you how to do it. But you're diagnosing like a doctor. Like, a doctor isn't going to demonstrate how he works with people. He's going to listen and then diagnose exactly what's going on, right? That's how I want you to think about your messaging. You're listening to what your people are saying. You're listening to even your own experience. And then you are naming the pattern. You're pointing out what's not working and you're reflecting back clearly, this is why it's not working. And then inviting them people in. So it's not, here's my process. Here's everything I know. Not teach me, I'll teach you the step by step. That's not what you're doing. You're saying, here's what I keep saying. This is the pattern that keeps repeating. This is why this approach stops working at this stage. That's your authority. Your authority isn't in how much you do. It's in how like accurate you are in pointing out the problem. going, this is the thing that you need to be fixed, not the thing that you think it is. And then inviting them in, just being like, if you want to fix this, that's what I do in my work. You don't even have to explain the work at all, okay? Over explaining it, that's what's actually killing the recognition. You then maybe dive into a 10-step thing of how they can fix it in the post. They're not going to fix it in the post. They're not. They came to you for the insight. That's what they came to you for, okay? The insight into what is not working, why it's not working. Okay, you don't need to add more context or soften the insights or teaching and all of that. Okay, recognition happens before the solution and not after. They have to see that you understand it and get it, and then they're open to the solution. Okay, that's that projector pointy stuff that I was talking about with a client or with your best friend, and you're trying to give her insight. Say, hey, I've been here before. I've experienced this too. You want to know what I did? Yes. Oh my God, tell me more. Recognition. Okay. So projector messaging should feel like it's a mirror, not necessarily a pitch. Okay. Projector messaging lands when people feel like you see them deeply, describes what someone is already experiencing. A lot of projectors will end up being, again, they're trying to help all the people, pick one person, but explaining exactly what they're going through. Here's what you're experiencing every single day. And this is what I know you're no longer willing to put up with it. I know that you're done with it. It uses simple, precise language, and it feels obvious once you say it. So if you read it back to yourself, like your piece of content, your sales page or whatever, and it doesn't feel obvious to you, you're missing some specificity in that, in what they are experiencing, or your language is just too broad and too vague. One clear sentence. Can we deduce it down? This is really hard sometimes for projectors. So if you struggle with this, know that that's very, very common and it's okay. This is honestly another reason why I love chat, because you can brain dump and be like, I'm a projector. I need to simplify this. I need to get to the root of what I'm trying to say and not over explaining things over and over and over. But one sentence from a projector can land harder than like 10 educational slides. Okay. Think simple, 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 simple. And then invitations. The last thing that I want to talk about with this is the invitations, okay? You don't need to ask for invitations. You're opening the door. Think of it, open the door like, hey, I've got something. Do you want help with that? I've got something for this problem. Do you want help with that? That's it. Trusting and knowing that the right people will self-identify, okay? You don't have to convince them. This is why I'm so, I wouldn't say I'm against convincing, but I think it doesn't belong in marketing. I don't think you need to convince someone to work with you. If you have to convince them, it's probably not an aligned relationship and will not result in results or a happy ending. Like you're basically, in my mind, convincing feels like forcing. You're forcing someone to do the work. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to force someone to work with me. I want them to be like, I love the work that you do. I want to experience it. I want to work. I want this work. So no convincing. There's no convincing. You're standing with confidence. I know your work is amazing. I know what you do is freaking phenomenal. I want you to believe that too. Do you, deep down in your heart, believe that? Even if you haven't figured out how to market it yet, those are two different things. Knowing your work is amazing is very different than marketing your work. So know your work is amazing. You will figure out how to market it. Okay. When we are doing this, that's when people come with the invitations of like, I want to work with you. How do I work with you? Where's the link to buy? All of it. Okay. That's when recognition is working. That's when you know that you're visible, when you're being seen. Like people just come out of the woodwork. Okay. You feel invisible because online businesses rewards output. Just like what we were talking about before, in how online marketing is not geared towards projectors. It's geared towards generators and pumping out content and doing lots of stuff. And you got to be, yes, there is something to be said about being consistent. And I think it's really so much easier to get consistent when you believe in what you're doing and when you feel really comfortable in what you're saying. If you feel like you can show up online and talk about what you do without overthinking and doubt and without spiraling, without second guessing yourself, it's so much easier to write content. It takes less time. You can just show up and talk. The overthinking and the doubt And trust me, I get it. It takes up so much of your energy. It will zap your creativity. It does. Full stop. It zaps your creativity. So projectors, trust that your work is freaking phenomenal, that you are simply showing up, sharing these insights and asking, just opening the door, not even asking, just opening the door. Anyone is that what you want? Is that what you want help with? Number one, stop teaching. Start naming what you see before you give a solution. Okay. Don't jump right into the solution. Don't jump into the transformation. I know marketing, right? It's telling you, talk about the transformation. Don't go there until you have named what the thing is that's keeping people from that transformation. They aren't going to care about that transformation if they don't see that you understand them, that you get where they're at right now. And let your words resonate. Like I want you trusting your words that are coming out of your mouth. There's no convincing. Trust that what you're saying is enough. If you want more information on all the work that I do, there is an episode on the Throat Center that is phenomenal that will show you exactly how to use your throat center. It is the biggest, most important piece of your human design chart in terms of your messaging, speaking your truth, showing up online, all of it. The Throat Center, I'm going to leave a link in the description, sharing that video. That's it for now, my friends. Thank you, projectors, for showing up today. I will see you in the next episode.